Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about radishes. So in my garden I grow many varieties of radishes. I grow them in containers, small containers, large containers, I grow them in raised beds as well as hydroponic. So we're going to go around the garden today and pick some radishes, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it and maybe give some tricks that I've learned over the years with growing these amazing greens. So we are going to start with my favorite radish variety, and this is the Korean radish for making kimchi. Make sure to check the description. I will post a link on how I harvest and make kimchi out of these beautiful radishes. So the Korean radishes, they're very unique in the way that they grow. They grow lower than most other varieties that I grow. The leaves kind of spread out, and it almost like spread out across the soil. And the leaves are edible. They're great in stir fries. You can eat them in pickles. You can put them in your salad, and that's what I usually do. I just eat the leaves before the bulbs are formed because they produce a ton. All you have to do is come out and pick a few bottom leaves like this, and then you can use these. And these are just amazing as saute. I love eating them raw, and they're just great overall varieties of radish. So here you see this is a bulb right there. They're not ready yet. They do get a lot bigger, so sometimes they can get up to 2 to 3 pounds, and they're green at the top. Once they get exposed to air, the top kind of turns green, and the bottom that are in the soil, they usually stay white, and they grow very, very fast. The variety I'm growing here is a slow bolting variety, so they do grow into the hot months and they're fine. Many other varieties that you may find, make sure you read the label, because they could require you to grow them in the really cold or cool conditions in order to create these nice big bulbs. So you see there, this one is not ready yet. It still has a lot more days to go to get much larger. But yeah, use the leaves as you wait. And I have some other radish varieties mixed in here. This is the purple Daikon. Here's the purple Daikon. You see this one? Let me go ahead and pull it out and show you. Look at that. This is the purple Daikon. It's round. They grow pretty big. I've had these grow up to like a size of an apple, and again the leaves are also edible. And these are really fast bolting variety. You see they already bolted, and as soon as the weather gets warm, they start to put out these shoots, and then they begin to produce flowers. Now the beautiful thing about growing radish is that you can eat them at all stages. I love them as microgreens, which I grow a ton of, and I have a video on how I did that, so check it out. You can also pull those microgreens out and put them in your garden. They will grow to large plant. Microgreens are basically tiny plants of the whatever variety of plants you're growing. They can be grown into large plants if you want to, so many people may not know that. And once they produce these stems right here that hold the flowers, you can also eat these. They're also really good. The young radish shoots or radish flower stems right here, they're delicious. They're nice and spicy, and you can eat the flowers as well. So if they get larger and larger, they will grow taller and taller and taller, and then they will produce these beautiful flowers. You can also eat these beautiful flowers, but also the flowers will attract a lot of bees to the garden. You see that's the purple variety right there. You see the flowers are purple, and I have another purple variety right there that's also starting to produce flowers. So it is getting very warm now, and that is the reason why they bolt quickly. So make sure you check the different varieties and choose the right one that maybe bolt late or maybe bolt early, and then decide if you want to grow them in the fall or early before spring. You have to time them correctly, because if they don't have the right amount of cool temperature, they're not going to produce the bulbs that you need. They're just going to produce a lot of leaves. Okay, so these are my Korean radishes. I grow a bunch of them in there, and also mixed in there are just some seeds that dropped from last season from the purple Daikon. Okay, here is a Korean radish that I allowed to grow a long time ago. I forgot how, I think last November or something like that. I put a plant in there, a seed, and now it started to produce these huge stems coming out like these. So these here, when they're nice and tender, you can also eat these. These are just excellent. So radishes are just amazing, guys. I love growing them because you can eat them, as I mentioned, all throughout the different stages, even to the seed pods. So this varieties, normally you eat the bulbs, you don't eat the seed pods, but when the seed pods are nice and tender, you can eat these. You can eat them raw in your salad. You can even stir fry them a little bit in your butter. You put them in your fry rice. Also, you can pickle them. They're amazing in pickle. So yeah, these here I'm saving for seeds, but if I want to, I can just take a few of these and just eat them. Right there, they produce a ton, so you can save just one stem for seeds, and then you can eat the rest. So it's up to you. They produce, one plant will produce so many seeds that you will have seeds to grow for many seasons. So here's another one. This is a purple variety. You see how the stems are purple? And there it is right here. You can eat all of these here, and the bees love these, so they produce lots and lots of flowers. I'll show you. So there it is. This is one radish plant that I allowed to go to seeds. This is a Miyashige, and I actually grew this one in hydroponic, and then it started to produce seeds or flowering stems. So I pull it out of the hydroponic system, and I put it in the raised bed here, and look at all of these here. So all of these eventually will go to become seed pods. So the flowers get pollinated, and then they get they become these little tiny pods right here, and then eventually they'll grow larger and larger, and it becomes the seed pods that store the seeds inside, and the seeds pod will grow really big, and then they will eventually dry into a brown color, and then you can crack the shell open and get the seeds inside. You can grow the seeds as microgreens. That's what I usually do. I stopped buying radish seeds now because I grow my own microgreen seeds, and I grow the microgreens in the winter, so I have radishes like all year long. So yeah, you see all of those flowers. It will attract a lot of beneficial insects. Another thing with radishes is that they are prone to aphids. Aphids love them. So I sometimes grow them next to my pepper plants, and then the aphid go to the radishes first for some reason. I haven't proven that 100% for sure, but I usually get aphids on the radishes before I get it onto the peppers. Okay, another variety I'm growing here is the Minnoways Daikon, and I just made a video recently about growing these beautiful plants. They are also very similar to the Korean radishes, that you can eat the leaves, you can eat the bulbs, and you can also eat the flowers. So right now, as I mentioned, it's getting warm now, so most of these are going to go to flower. The Minnoways Daikon does require cool temperature to grow, so I started these guys really early in the early months. Like I think I started inside in January or February, I forgot. Then I brought them out here once they're large enough, like around 21 days you can bring them outside, and then they will be fine in the cool weather. I live in Texas, so we don't get crazy cold. I mean, this year is an exception, but normally we don't get crazy cold weather. So those are Daikon. Daikons are really large. Let me pull one up for you to see. Let's see. This is the small one of it, but I really like it at this size because most of the times I grow them for leaves. So I stir fry the leaves, and also I eat these. Sometimes I put these in soup. When I make pho, I put a huge Daikon, and then I simmer the soups overnight, and it gives it a nice beautiful sweetness to the pho. So if you ever make Vietnamese pho noodle soups, make sure to look up how to simmer daikon overnight. It's amazing, guys. The sweetness is awesome. Okay, and then I also grow these are, I think they're champion. These are champions. I love these things. They're just beautiful. They grow really fast, and I just love pulling them out like this. It's just something about pulling radishes out of the soil is just amazing. So I grow a ton of these, and they're delicious. I mean, they don't taste that spicy, so they have a nice sweetness, but the crunch and the flavor is amazing. These are champions. And then I also grow pink beauty. These are pink beauty right here. The beautiful color, that's pink. That's why they probably call them pink beauty. And here's some more right here. So these here you can direct sow. That's exactly what I did. I just threw a bunch of seeds in here. I don't space them out or anything like that. Just grow them everywhere, and then you can thin them out as they grow larger and larger, and then leave like one every 3 inches, I would say, because they don't grow very big. You see? So one, just put them all over the place, and you can eat the greens also when they're young. So when you thin them out, eat the greens. That way you don't have to throw them away. Okay, and another variety that I'm growing is the dragon tail. These are dragon tail radishes. You see how they produce these pods that look like a dragon tail. There's also a rat tail variety that is green, and they're very similar. They just produce seed pods, so they don't produce any bulbs. I made a video on these recently, so you can take a look, check them out, you see. And you eat the pods right here. They're nice and tender and spicy. So they're also very pretty too. They because you grow them for the seed pods, there are always a lot of flowers, and the bees will come and visit very often. You see, these are all radishes flowers right here, nice and pretty. And there's the other one right here. You see, they produce a good amount of these tails. So we had hail the other day. You see, these are damaged from hail. It bruised a ton of my fruit, caused a bunch of stems to drop, damage a few of my plants. It's crazy. It's actually yesterday that we just got the hail. It's crazy. So yeah, those are the varieties that they don't produce any bulbs down here. They only produce the seed pods, and the seed pods taste very much similar to the radish bulbs. They still have this nice spicy flavor, but these are the ones that people cook with, stir fry. They're great. I like to eat them raw. Okay, and another variety I'm growing here is called the white globe, and I like this one here because they do grow really fast. I think they take around 30 days, and they're very similar to the red radish because you know the leaves are similar in a way, and they grow so fast. And so here's what the white globe looks like. Fast growing radish. See how beautiful that is. And if you mix this with the red the champion, put it in a bowl, and it'll make a great presentation. You see that? Love this variety. Okay, and another globe that I'm growing is called the Shogun globe. These are the Japanese variety, and you see they do get pretty nice size, much larger than this, like a size of a large apple. This is the small one of it, but it's basically a daikon variety, but they don't grow really long. They just grow in a circular shape, and they taste very similar. So the same thing, you eat the leaves, you eat the flowers, and they're just amazing. I just love growing radishes. Okay, and the last variety that I'm growing here is called this is the Sakurajima Giant. This is another Japanese variety of radish, and I started these things too late, so they didn't have time to produce the huge bulb. These things can get I read that they can get up to 15 to 20 pounds, but I've never seen it. This is the first year I'm growing these, and I'm failing at it because they all are producing these flowers, and there's no bulb down there. I checked, it's just a little tiny stem, so the conditions are not right. I need to read more about how to grow these and what is the best time to start them, you see. So they're I think they're really pretty. They produce a lot of leaves. I've seen videos of people pulling these things up. They get really big. And here again, I'm growing a few more in containers, and I don't think these things would do well in containers. I think they prefer large growing space, like in the ground. Nice soil that can drain really well. You see here? This is the biggest that I've gotten. Wow, these things are pretty tough to pull up because they grow so big. And you see? There it is right there. That is nowhere compared to what the actual plant is able to produce. They should produce enormous bulbs, like 10 to 15 pounds. So yeah, this is not a successful season for Sakurajima radish. So I'm gonna try it again next year. And then I'm growing these here. Initially I wanted to grow them in these containers so that when they get large enough, I split them. But then I didn't have, I forgot about these and I didn't have a chance to split them. And you see they are producing flowers. So I'm gonna let this go to flower and collect seeds for them. So I'm gonna have a lot of seeds because I'm growing these everywhere, and it has not been a success. There's no bulbs or anything like that. So anyway, that is all of the radishes that I'm growing. I hope that there's some information that you find useful. That is all. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.